We are back here at Highmark Stadium for the Section 6 Class C championship game between the Southwestern Frewsburg Trojans taking on the Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton Eagles. My name is Jacob Fyack. Alongside me is Francis Beck. This is the Wingnutz halftime show. And Francis, let's just say, for example, you weren't here. Maybe you had like something to do. You know, both these teams can score more than 40 points a game. If I would have texted you saying this game was 6-0 with Chautauqua Lake at the end of the first half, what would you text me back?
Are those the right teams?
We've seen these teams put points up on the board. But from both sides, especially on the defense side of the ball, Francis, they're getting the job done so far.
Yeah, Chautauqua Lake defense has really come out to play. They come out very poised, and they're making plays all over the field. They're really giving a hard time to Southwestern. They just look so out of sorts. We mentioned Brendan Fuller was going to be out for this game. It looks like that may have affected the Southwestern team, maybe not just physically with him out the field, maybe mentally as well, not used to him being there. And Chautauqua Lake has taken advantage, and offensively, they made enough plays to put themselves ahead.
Yeah, and here's some quick stats for you guys. Chautauqua Lake has 79 rushing so far at the end of the first half. Southwestern Frewsburg, 22 rushing yards total, 19 yards passing, 41 total yards of offense so far from the Trojans. A complete 180 of what we've seen from this team so far. And as for the scoring,
this is a team that, by the way, is averaging 44 points a game. They have 41 yards of offense.
43 rushing touchdowns as well. So big eye-opener so far when it comes to a big, important game, with this being a section title game. Scoring so far, it just came in the second quarter. Thandon Bensink from Chautauqua Lake had a 2-yard rushing touchdown. They tried to go for 2, couldn't get it, and that just left with a 6-0 lead with 10 minutes to go at that time in the second quarter, and that's been our score ever since. Now, I will say, though, we've had some really good plays from both sides of the ball, especially on defense. Back in the first quarter, Carson Fairbank had an interception. We also saw Devin Hewis from Chautauqua Lake have a big catch off a deflection. And then for Southwestern Frewsburg, before the end of the half, Trent Lewis had a huge punt return. But then what happened on that drive? Chautauqua Lake stacking the box on first down. And then you had second down. It was a high snap over the quarterback. And they lose the ball. They lost yardage but recovered the ball. And then a sack by Walter Lukasiak from Chautauqua Lake that ended that drive and ended the quarter. So this game is up in the air of who's going to win this. And I got to say, for Chautauqua Lake, they are prepped. The game plan's working well. And when you have a head coach like Ty Harper, who's been in this experience many a times, some might say this isn't a surprise, but it is impressive what they're doing so far.
Well, I think this is another example of why coaching matters. You could see Chautauqua Lake coming in as the underdog, but they have the coach who we mentioned in the pregame has been here plenty of times before. He had his team ready to go. And, a couple plays I wanted to point out. Aiden Willis, I believe it was from Chautauqua Lake, had an interception that would have stopped a touchdown early in the second quarter. And then at the end, you mentioned it, Trent Lewis had that big punt return. A lot of teams would have just, let Southwestern Frewsburg score. They would have went, hey, tie game or 2-point game at the half, we're good. This is pretty good. But no, their defense stepped up, and I don't think Southwestern gained any yards. I think they lost yards in that ensuing drive and ran out the clock. And they had the ball, inside the 15 to start that drive. So that says a lot about the Chautauqua Lake defense to be able to step up in that moment, not go down. But I'll bring that there. And who knows, as this game moves on and it stays this close, those are two key plays that could end up being the difference.
Yeah, and I think for adjustments here, obviously you got to get the run game going. If you're Southwestern Frewsburg, defensively, I feel like it's been on point with they have been so far, no matter what opponent they have faced. And for the Trojans, I feel like they got to find a way to get the running game going, whether it's, get some extra blocking to the outside or try to find a way for those interior linemen to create holes up when Chautauqua Lake is stacking the box.
We really haven't seen Lewis try go deep very much. You'd sign him a little bit over the middle, but, Lewis is throwing for 835 yards, 13 touchdowns getting into today. I think they got to try a couple deep shots to loosen up the Chautauqua Lake defense.
And then what about for Chautauqua Lake? Adjustments they have to make as well.
I think you stick to your game plan. I think you're going to see – I would like to see some kind of trick play or something just to catch Southwestern Frewsburg off guard. They're probably going to be expecting the run game. They think, oh, Chautauqua Lake wants to, shorten the game up, keep it close. If you're Chautauqua Lake, you want to come out and jump them by surprise. So a trick play, maybe a flea flicker, a Johnny Haynes special, or hook and ladder. Or Johnny Haynes special is what I like to call it, coach from Kenmore West. But yeah, hook and ladder, some kind of trick play to really catch Southwestern Frewsburg off guard and just, try to make a statement early on. No, this Southwestern team is very much known for making statements this year. It's time someone makes a statement on them.
Yeah, we'll see what that happens as the second half will get underway in just a bit. Well, we thank you guys here for tuning in to the Wingnutz halftime show here at Highmark Stadium for the final time. We're going to crown a champion in Class C. Is that going to be Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton, or is it going to be the undefeated Southwestern Frewsburg Trojans? We'll find out in a bit. If you haven't yet, get on the NFHS Network. It's a paid subscription. Go and watch this game. This game has been very low scoring, but it's been a close battle, and I feel like that's how it's going to be towards the end.
Yeah, certainly going to be great, and we're going to have a lot to talk about coming up after the game on the post-game show.
We thank you guys for tuning into our halftime show. Stay tuned. We'll be back for the post-game show as this game goes final here on Western New York Athletics.
Wingnutz. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnutz locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnutz hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well, we'll get
I'll go if you go to